Fire.
Hello, boys and girls, and most importantly, goats. It is your boy JC. This is the Week 3 Fantasy Show preview. I am your guy, JC. I'm your herder. Uh, with me, of course, is three goats, and we're here to get you prepared for Week 3. I've got the goat dad. How are you today, Dad?
Doing great. Excited for the show.
You are great. I've got the Jones goat himself, the brand master, Jonesy. How are you?
Good.
I'm glad you're good. Great shirt. And the commissioner, the one and only commissioner. All right, fellas. Before we get into it, I was thinking of something. Earlier today. Wanted to know, do you guys have any pre-fantasy rituals or pre-week, things that you do, kind of superstitions, anything along those lines? Like what you, there's nothing. Like Rhino shaking his head, there's no superstition.
Not for fans, but for football. If I'm wearing a Raiders jersey and they lose, I won't wear it again.
Rams jersey. Yeah. All right.
I'm running out of Rams jerseys to wear though now, so hopefully they win this week. That's about it for me. But no, just check right on in for the morning, man.
Anybody else? Superstitions? I mean, I got one, and I'm gonna get to it, but just want to make sure that Jonesy and Dad doesn't have any superstitions.
Honestly, in fantasy, not really. It's just
am I crazy?
Going through my process every day. I mean, every morning I'm looking at waivers, and I mean, maybe that's a superstition that I need to check waivers every day. I don't know, but that's just more.
No. That's not a superstition. That's not. That's called being prepared.
Yeah. I was trying to reach for you a little bit to try to give you something, but
Dad, anything at all.
I mean, you might not call mine a superstition either based on what you just told Jonesy, but for me, Saturday night, 10 p.m. Well, really, it's kind of every night, 10 p.m., but especially Saturday night, 10 p.m., I'm doing my final check because I'm in a lot of dynasty leagues where the waiver, you add, I'm making claims basically tonight for tomorrow morning. So this is my last chance to get anybody. So Saturday night, 10 o'clock, I've got my computer and my phone and everything out, and I'm going through all my leagues one by one, getting everything set, making sure there's not a Cam Akers out there I need to add to the squad for the weekend and stuff like that. So that's about it for me.
And that's reasonable. That's again, I would chalk that up to being prepared, being diligent, right? I mean, that's fantasy diligence.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, for a long time now, if it comes to the point during the week, I guess maybe a Thursday, yesterday, and it's time for me to shave, and if I have won the previous week, now, granted, this is really just for the main home league, the main prize league. But if it comes to the point where it's time to shave, and I won the previous week, I will not shave until the following week.
I won't.
That's right. So if I'm a little scuffy, or yesterday, I'm a little itchy, I'm up. That's right. We will not shave. So folks, it works too. It works. Call me crazy. I am. There's no disputing that.
Well, hopefully you got a beard, coming down the ears.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So then there was so several years ago, I run into a neighbor, and she says to me, "Oh, you're so cute in the beard." I'm like, "Yeah, I won 3 weeks ago." It's look, it's not often that'll just goes and grows because I'm winning week by week by week. And at some point, eventually, I will shave because it is annoying. But at least for if there's a 2-3 week stretch, I'm gonna let this. I'll let it go out. I will, gentlemen. we've got a week 3 slate. It's hard. It's not hard. I mean, it's week 3. I mean, it goes by quickly, especially when you're in season. I mean, like shit. I mean, once we get out of the football year, and none of us really like that feeling, football's over, blah 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 blah, and the NFL does a remarkable job of late of bridging the gap between the seasons.
Yeah.
But still, there's a obvious amount of time that goes by where okay, well, there's no football. We're talking, all the other stuff like the draft, like the free agency, like this, like that, the combine, so on and so forth, preseason, minicamps. So these 17 weeks. So but again, like by this time, almost tomorrow, like week 3 is almost concluded. By the way, tomorrow we will be on with you, me, the Commissioner Rhino, and the SoCal Ball Nerd Wolfie. We'll recap all the week 3 main slate action. But why don't we get into some action that we're going to anticipate happening tomorrow? Let's start off with by the way, we have a fantastic mailbag from the Fantasy Dad.
Yeah.
It's not really a mailbag, all right? I'm going to be fully transparent here. We should set up a mailbag though.
The goat bag.
But we'll set up a goat.
That's it.
We will set up a goat bag. But in the meantime, yeah, I do have some burning questions for you gentlemen, for you gentle goats, and we do have a ton of start sit questions from the dad's ex audience. And by all means, I hope that they are watching. I hope they are listening. I hope that we can eventually get to cut up some of the video and distribute it where they will get to see like their question. But for now, look, Rome wasn't built in a day, and this is a work in progress. So,
That's it.
yeah, let's go, fellas. How are we feeling? Well, Jonesy doesn't want me to talk about injuries until we actually get to the game. So here we go. We're gonna kick it off right there to you, baby. Right there in the good old heartland, cheeseland, Wisconsin, Green Bay, playing the Titans. Jordan Love right now has practice limited all week.
Yep.
What do we think about Jordan Love if he's a go against the Tennessee Titans? How do we feel about the wide receivers for the Green Bay Packers how do we feel about the Packers skill position players with Love, without Love? Why don't we just set the table there?
I think another week's worth of practice for him. Maybe open up the playbook a little bit more for Malik Willis. Love isn't playing. That's just all smokescreen. That's just my opinion. I think another week's worth of practice and open up playbook for Malik Willis. I think he'll be fine. I think it'll be little dink and dunks. Hopefully Watson gets involved a little bit more and not all Reed and Wicks like last week. I think that's my opinion.
Okay, then it's completely valid. Jonesy.
It all depends if Love plays or not. If Love plays, then you're going full steam ahead. You're playing Love, no question about it. You're playing Reed. You're playing Dobbs probably. They're not going to put him out there unless he feels good and he's able to play. There's no reason to risk it. We won last week. Why risk one game that could hurt the rest of the season?
Right.
If he's not 100% healthy. So, if he's playing, I'm full steam ahead, everyone. If he's not, I'm expecting more like last week. Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, that's just as going to say.
Emmanuel Wilson. I don't really see a high volume for passing if it's Willis, but I think Reed is someone that even with Willis you can play, and he at least has the opportunities to, do some plays that are schemed up for him. And everyone else, Romeo Dobbs is probably my second highest guy I'd feel okay with. After that, Watson and he's kind of hit or miss as it is anyway, you know. So
that excuse me, that game in Rio, that Christian Watson was targeted in the end zone 4 times, converted one of those. I mean, it's clear to me that if there is a caveat here, if there's a healthy Jordan Love, there's an obvious like first read connection target Christian Watson and 2 healthy hamstrings, knock on wood. But the caveat is we don't as you're alluding, I can't see him there's no way he's full 100% health. There's no way. So it's just a matter of how good does he feel. I don't think Green Bay is going to I'm with you. I don't think they're going to put him out there just yet. They have there's not really, I don't know if you can really say there's house money to play with at this time. However, they are up a game, right? Or they just, or they're 1-1. They won one without him.
Yeah, if your quarterback's out for 2 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever, you just want to go 500. That's what you want. And so if he's out for 2 weeks, we won last week. If we lose this week, sure. Could it hurt at some point? Yes, but in the bigger scheme of things, it's not worth putting him out there if he's not ready. So we'll have to see in the morning. I mean, it's kind of, I've been hearing mixed things. I listen to Packers radio every day, and it's been mixed all week. You hear good things and then you hear some bad, not bad, but not towards that he's going to play. So it's up in the air right now.
Jazzy thinks that he's playing. I mean, he did. He practiced all week. So he could very well be playing tomorrow, and we're not going to know till tomorrow either, Dad. Right? I mean, it's not like we're getting news now. Oh, Jordan Love is going to be active.
Yeah. The only thing that we've gotten is Sean Clifford got activated today from the practice squad at quarterback. So, but that could just be because if Love's not ready to go tomorrow, if he's not feeling well, they can't activate him tomorrow. So they have to do it today.
Right.
So, but do I really see them carrying 3 quarterbacks though? I was talking to my buddy about it earlier. I don't see them carrying 3 on game day. So
hence there would be a deactivation.
So to me, it points to Love being out, but
yeah, I agree.
Dad, how do you feel about Josh Jacobs tomorrow?
Fire him up. He's going to be their best weapon. So I think we should be looking for hopefully a top 12 fantasy outing, and watch him work.
I mean, you want to talk about being scarce at quarterback, kind of, sort of. I mean, they are even more thinner at running back. They really are. So, I mean, Josh Jacobs is unequivocal workhorse. We don't get too many of those in this league. They're not too many, although it is starting to turn a little bit in favor of that, a little bit. But still, Josh Jacobs, look, no one. Well, I'm not suggesting to anybody Josh Jacobs should be coming out of your lineup. Not at all. However,
never.
Not at this time. There are plenty of others that we could be discussing that, perhaps should be coming out of the lineup, or whether you need to make a hard decision on them. And we'll get to some of these guys soon. Why don't we move? Let's move to another running back who's had 2 solid weeks. That has just been remarkable. Kudos to J.K. Dobbins. Kudos for making it back off of a bad injury for a running back. He does have a tough matchup this week against the Steelers. Don Peace, Pittsburgh Steelers. Jazzy's Pittsburgh Steelers. This is one of your classic slugfest battle of the smash mouth battle in the trenches football. Yes. Now that could go well. That could bode well for a running back. It could. I just think we're going to roll out JK again. At least I am in one league, and I would advise anybody else that has JK Dobbins, that has reaped the rewards of drafting J.K. Dobbins that late in your draft and been starting him at least for 1 week, if not, I don't know if you've started him week 1, but yeah, you started him after week 1, and I would say yes, I guess go ahead, give him a go, but I would temper the expectations. What do you think?
I agree. Which running back room do you think will do better, the Pittsburgh Steelers or San Diego? And
That's a great question.
Do you think Vidal gets some touches? And if he does, who's he stealing from? Gus or
Depends if he's
JK?
active. He's been inactive a lot this year so far. So
I think he's active this week, though, from what I've read.
Is he?
Yeah.
I mean, the pecking order is clear there. It's JK and then Gus Edwards. I mean, if, Kamani is active. It'll be nice to see him finally play a little, hopefully. But, Vidal has always been a long-term play and not a short-term one. So,
Do you think the Steelers running back room will outproduce the Chargers?
I don't know.
Honestly, I think they're very even matched. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Who's got the better O-line?
San Diego, I think. Or not LA, the Chargers. God.
Do they? I
I
don't
think
know.
so.
I mean, I could look up PFF right now and see who's graded higher, but we're not going to do that. I'm sure that they're both ranked pretty well. If I had to lean one over the other, I would probably take the home team for some reason. Like the home team that won't have to deal with noise when they're on offense. Rather, the other way around, when the Chargers are on offense, they're going to have to deal with the Pittsburgh crowd. So
Yeah.
that's how I would probably lean. Therefore, which running back room? I mean, look, hopefully Jalen Warren's getting healthier, where he could be utilized more if you're a Jalen Warren owner, and you're thinking about putting him in your flex spot. I would say if you have a better option, perhaps look at the better option. If you've been starting Najee, you're going to roll out Najee again.
But like Jazzy said, a common spot. No, I was just going to say the same thing. He got hurt in practice, so he's on the IR. So that's going to hurt him a little bit.
But you also gotta get the next man up too, right? I mean, shit. Morgan Moses went down on Thursday night. This was a free agent tackle, and now you spent the top 10 draft pick on an offensive tackle, and now he's going to have to start most likely. I mean, it's the next man up, and we'll have to see how that shakes out, how that pans out. All right. I would go, if I had to pick one over the other, I would go with the Steelers, and I would go with Najee, and I think Warren is a borderline flex option. Dad, here's the $1 million question for you.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And, if you have to take your time, because, by all means, please take your time, but hurry up. How are you ranking the Dolphins this week?
Oh, I'm sad because
you say you're not the only one that's sad.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill was I think my first pick in Scott Fish Bowl, and I'm not overly optimistic. You're playing Tyreek Hill, right? It's not like you're sitting someone like him. I've got leagues where I'm not playing, Jalen Waddle. And I know we can't all afford to do that in every league. Like if you've got him, you might be having to flex him. But I do have a league where I'm sitting him. It's going to be interesting to say the least. I'm not totally sure what to expect, but I'm not overly optimistic.
That
Devin Achane. That's the only one that I'm comfortable with. I'm not even.
That's right.
I'm not comfortable with Cheetah. I know everyone is saying like, okay, like if there's going to be a Dolphins skill position player to be comfortable with, it would be Tyreek Hill. Why should we be comfortable with any of them, including Devon A-Chain? Although if there's going to be one, I feel most comfortable with him. Is there a little bit of bias coming out of me? Yeah. But on the flip side of that, just to show you that I'm not so biased, I also had Jalen Waddle. And I'm not very comfortable in that. Right, Don P? The Penguin is now completely downgraded. He's downgraded because of this guy named Skylar.
Yeah.
That's throwing him the ball. Can this guy possibly surprise us against the Seahawks? Jonesy, I don't think he's surprising us against the Seahawks.
No, I don't think he's going to surprise us, but I mean, I'm okay. I mean, you're not as comfortable playing the guys, obviously, but Tyreek Hill, he's still a top 5 wide receiver. Give me a break. I mean, he can take something to the house 90 yards on every play. I have no word. All he has to do is throw Tyreek a slant and he could be gone. I am not worried about Tyreek Hill. I mean,
that's the hope.
Yeah,
that's the hope.
That's like
but that's always the hope with
even
Tyreek. That's always
Tua.
the hope. Whether it's Tua throwing him the ball or Skylar throwing him the ball, the hope with Tyreek Hill is that he just, like week 1 or whatever, 80 yards of the house. You know, that's what you're hoping for. That's what Tyreek does. That's what he's good at.
Yeah.
You know, Waddle, I would look at him as more of a volume guy compared to Tyreek, but you know, I'm still comfortable playing him.
Yeah.
I mean, who are you going to play over him? That's what it comes down to.
Okay, let me ask you that then.
Well,
would you play Deontay Johnson over him in the 2-point PPR league?
Over Waddle?
No, I'm sorry, over Tyreek Hill.
No, I'm not playing anyone over Tyreek Hill.
Really?
You are starting Tyreek Hill every week. I don't care if they don't even have a quarterback.
You're not
if they run a wildcat every play. You're starting Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
You're not benching Tyreek Hill. Your expectations for Cheetah wide receiver 1 production just have to come down. That's all. And if his have to come down, that means freaking Penguin Waddle's expectations really have to come down, so on and so forth. The only thing that's a little bit more safer is the fact of, you know, your running back A-Chain is a two-way player. He's going to carry the ball, right? He's going to get a lot of
out too. So the only other backup is Jalen Wright.
He's going to have a lot. He's going to get a lot of touches, I believe.
Yeah, 20 plus.
How about this from Sky Draper? Welcome in, Sky Draper, in a full PPR. He wants to trade J.K. Dobbins high. Baker Mayfield, he'd be selling high as well. And I guess that's Isaiah Likely to receive Josh Allen and to receive Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
I mean, does Josh Allen supersede all those players? Because, I mean, Travis Kelce.
Click.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kelsey's going to come on too. You know, Kelsey's not going to lay an egg the entire season.
No, and this might be his game coming out.
Look, you got to look at it this way. You want Josh Allen over Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
100%. There's no question about that. So the question really comes down to: do you want Kelce or do you want J.K. Dobbins? So it depends what your running back room looks like. But I mean,
that's what I was going to say. It's like, okay, how much of this player supersedes the other players? That's basically what this comes down to. I would probably do it as well. I mean, like, you struck gold with Baker Mayfield. It looks like you struck gold with J.K. Dobbins, and now look, I mean, it's a good trade. It's a good deal.
The only way you don't do it is if your running back room is too depleted by trading J.K.
Yeah,
then you can't.
Yeah, but listen, and this might be an unpopular opinion, and I would never like wish an injury on anybody, but if I don't have J.K. Dobbins anywhere because I didn't draft him, and if I had him and he put up a couple good weeks, I would be trying to sell J.K. Dobbins personally right now. I have no confidence at all that he makes it another week. Like every Sunday you're waiting for his glass joints to get in trouble.
What I would do is, if you do that trade,
glass joints.
is trade away Dobbins, but go get Gus Edwards. That way you still have a running back for that. You want the running back in that system. So if Dobbins goes down, you got the guy free. I mean, some leagues he might even be on the waiver wire. So if not, you might be able to trade for him with very little. So
good advice. I like that. Here, Don P's got another one for us. Waddle or Khalil Shakir. If that's for this week, it's Khalil Shakir.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
Unfortunately, he who's got the healthier quarterback right now? Yeah, no, Khalil Shakir is like the wide receiver, the de facto wide receiver one on this team right now.
Yeah.
Selling J.K. High is a great move. Yeah, absolutely, Wolf. He certainly is a great move. Jonesy, make the trade. Look at Jazz.
Yeah, I mean, if everything I said is, kosher and you're good, I mean, I would go out and I don't know what your other tight ends are, but if you just have junk for tight ends, drop them immediately and go pick up top handcuffs. Corum's out there, Ray Davis is out there, Ray Benson's out there, Isaac Guerendo's out there until CMC comes back. Any of those, Gus Edwards, any of those guys are out there, go pick them up and just hold them.
That's excellent advice. All right, and now we're going to get to the featured $1 million question of the evening. Actually, no, it's not the featured. I'm sorry, it's not, because I've got one that's even more burning than Crocky J and Carson Steele. This is the last week for Zamir White to be in your starting lineup. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is.
It's make or break.
It's not. This isn't necessarily a question. This should be a uniform throughout the industry, throughout the community. We start Zamir White one more time against this bottom league rushing defense. And if he cannot produce in this spot at home versus this Panther team, then we have to pull him. I'm not saying drop him yet. Not drop him. It's still too damn early in the season to drop him.
The only thing that worries me this week is with the change at quarterback. I don't know how that locker room was with Bryce Young. I honestly don't. But if that locker room feels energized, you see it with coaching changes all the time. Guys come out and they play completely different the following week after big changes sometimes. And all of a sudden this game gets competitive. That's my only concern. But yes, I agree. We should be starting Zamir White.
Dad,
one more time.
Dad, you going in with Zamir White one more time? One more time, at least.
One.
I will if he's like my running back too. But somebody that was on waivers in most leagues this week that I am starting over Zamir White this week.
Who?
It's got
Cam Akers.
I like that. We were just talking about that a little while ago. Cam Akers. Cam Akers, while yes, may have put the ball on the ground last week in limited time, didn't have a bad game. If you want to try to pace that out for a full-time load, he could very well I'm not saying it's going to happen. We don't have a crystal ball. He could very well be in for a solid performance tomorrow. I like Cam Akers. Am I starting him over Zamir White? Holy smokes. That is a tough call. That is a did somebody ask you that one?
We've got I think we've got a lot of Cam Akers questions today.
Probably.
I'm not just Minnesota's got the number one run defense for one thing. You're playing somebody that hasn't played a full game in almost a year probably. Even then, he was coming in and out of the games with Minnesota last year.
Look at this. They're playing Cam Akers because in the preseason he was dancing like a ballerina and did 3 spins in a row or whatever against third stringers. So everyone thinks he's going to be the next,
That's why I'm not touching
Barry
it.
Sanders.
I'm not touching it.
I just think he's going to get 20 touches. Like, I just think the volume's going to be there. That's gonna play for fantasy.
He could have volume, but if he's only making 2 yards a carry.
But Zamir White could have volume too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Zamir White and Cam Akers are there, even.
Yeah.
I think it's pick whoever you want.
So, if you went to go pick up Cam Akers off the wire, the chances are that you probably had to, right? Like somebody's hurt, whether it be Isaiah Pacheco, or you went to go put in a claim for Kareem Hunt and you missed out on him, so then you got Cam Akers. Like the chances are, unless of course you just went to go claim Cam Akers to stop the other owner from getting him. I'm not sure if that move is really taking place so early in the season. However, it's possible. Chances are,
the people that picked up Cam Akers, I'd love to know who they dropped to pick him up.
well, again, it may not have been a drop. It may have been like, okay, like now this guy's going to IR and you have the free spot, you have the free ad. So I feel like all right, hold on. Someone check Cam Akers starting percentage. Not roster, but starting percentage. See how many people on Sleeper or Yahoo are going to start Cam Akers as of now.
I just want to say that while we're looking at that, I just want to say, because you brought up a good point, see that people put people in the IR, and then they pick up an extra player. Even if you don't need an extra player and you have someone out and you have the capability to put someone on IR that is out, do it and pick someone up that has high upside if there's an injury in front of them. Absolutely. Like one of the handcuffs I just talked about 5 minutes ago. Pick one of those guys up. If they don't get hurt, you just drop them next week. And then do that every week, though, if you have that capability.
Yeah.
More professional advice from the GOAT. Someone should go tell Jazzy that, like, having 0 shares of Zamir is a mistake. It's a mistake. Why? Just because he had 2 bad games? We believe in Zeus.
All right. Cam Akers on Sleeper right now is 43% rostered, 20% start.
I'm sorry. One more time, Jonesy.
43% rostered.
That's all right. 43%.
And 20% in starting lineups. And let me look up Zamir.
20% starting.
Starting, yeah. But that could change in the morning, too, Zamir White right now is 83% owned and 34% start. So.
Well, here, let's do this. Ready? So, Zamir White or Javonte Williams?
Zamir White. Zamir White. Javonte Williams is playing Tampa, correct?
Yeah, but Tampa, I think Vida is out now. Their defensive line has gotten some injuries, but
I'm going to rely and bank on a defensive-minded head coach to be able to plug that hole. And
I think you're still going Zamir just for volume.
For volume and matchup.
Matchup, yes.
Both. I look, if Zamir's having himself a good game and they want to continue to get him rolling, they're going to continue to give him the ball, and Alexander Madison doesn't carry the ball. Folks, we've been talking about Zamir White since Commissioner Rhino, March?
Yeah.
March.
Probably, yeah.
March, we've been on Zamir White at the Patrick Pucci Fantasy Show. And that's what we've been doing even earlier than March. We've been at this since 2023, me and the great Don P, Patrick Pucci. And we are still delivering it to you guys on a daily basis. You can check us out Mondays and Tuesdays on X, on Fridays on X. Fridays, right back here on the tube. Saturday, well, you're right here with us on the tube. And tomorrow night on the tube. We're here for you. We appreciate you. Check us out. Check your local listings. All right, guys. Where do we want to go to next? Oh yeah,
Let's answer the
well,
question right here.
let's do that. That takes precedence over anything.
All right. So what? One PPR league, pick one for flex: Brian Thomas, Cam Akers, or Jalen Warren. I'm going Brian Thomas.
I
Jacksonville.
know my answer, but I didn't realize my answer was such a hot take until I started
boy.
talking to you guys a little bit ago.
Go
It's
ahead,
Cam
Dan.
Akers.
It's the PPR though.
I know. I'm in on Cam Akers tomorrow.
I think it's Cam Akers for this volume. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a volume play.
It-
Buffalo's
it's-
been good
yeah.
locking down opposing wide receivers so far through two.
But how many catches is Cam Akers going to catch out of the backfield?
He's not gonna.
So
He'll have
PPR league.
he'll have one. If it's a flex play though, it's okay.
Okay.
If in my opinion anyway, I see your point, Rhino, for sure. Sometimes the way I'd like to play my lineups is if we're gonna have a volume play, we're gonna do that in the flex, regardless if it's a running back. If it's a volume play,
Yeah, I would play James with that aspect. Now I would play Jalen Warren then.
the prop. Okay, so you're kind of killing two birds with one stone here, but the problem, right? You're getting your PPR out of Jalen Warren, but the problem there, or the challenge there, is that he's sharing with Najee Harris, where Cam Akers doesn't have to share with anybody. That's the only trouble I see there. Other than that, yes, you're getting Jalen Warren's PPR upside for sure.
I'm not touching Cam Akers. Period.
I have Dad, I have a feeling that there's another reason behind this. I do.
No, there's no. No, because I've always been a Cam Akers fan. I loved him with the Rams.
Okay,
No. I just don't. He hasn't started a full game in 2-3 years, where he had 20 touches.
Oh, J.K. Dobbins hasn't started it. Well, I mean, like besides week one last year rather. Yeah, no, I get it. Look,
And 2 blown Achilles, one on each leg.
I feel like they've been ramping him up.
All right.
I feel like they've been ramping him up. Brian Thomas is a good young player. Well, someone settle this. Someone break the tie. Who you going with, Jonesy, out of these three for Lewis?
Honestly, it depends on the rest of my lineup. If I have a solid team that I think I just need the floor of a player, I'm going Cam Akers. If my lineup this week's a little more risky or the team I'm playing against is a little more loaded than me and I needed some upside, I'm probably going to go Brian Thomas. I know that doesn't solve it, but
Jazzy's just.
I'm going. I mean,
I'm not playing Warren. I don't trust his
Hey, did you guys?
participation yet.
Yeah, no kidding. Did you guys? Did we address the Husots?
no,
we did not.
I do take Bell.
JSN.
I mean, look, the matchup is sensational for JSN. Tyler Lockett, like we've discussed before on many of those Patrick Pucci Fantasy Show shows, it's JSN season. Lockett's on his way out. Now, we love Tank Dell. I love Tank Dell, and we need to – and CJ almost hit Tank Dell. Wide open. Just missed him last week. It would have went to the house. I think we are starting to see some of the effect of having Diggs on the field. I mean, I think they're still trying to iron out like how they really want to operate their offense. That's what I really think. Tank Dell is going to be there. He's going to be there, and we know that CJ loves him. So I think we just need to hold on. But if it's one of these two right now, I think JSN is a wide receiver 3. is the right move. I think that would be the right call. That's
Yeah,
what, if it
JSN for me too.
if it was my lineup, which, and I'm sure it's one or the other in many of my lineups. I've got both across many leagues. I would definitely, if I had to pull the trigger, I would pull the trigger for JSN.
So the first game, Tyler Lockett got most of the catches, correct? And then last week was Metcalf and JSN. So I'm not going to, just me personally, I'm not going to touch any Seahawks receiver unless they go back-to-back weeks with those kind of touches. Because just from past performances where they do good and then all of a sudden the next week they not get any targets. So I don't have any trust in Seattle's wide receivers until I know they're going back-to-back. That's why I would go Tank Dell.
That upsets me.
Well, I'm not here to make everybody happy.
Upsets me. See, to me, it's more like it's like, okay, would you rather have like the team's wide receiver 2, or like, unfortunately, we're looking at like Tank Dell right now being like in that third position, right, Jonesy? Dad, I mean, like Tyler Lockett, I don't see him being that team's wide receiver 2 anymore. I don't. JSN.
Well, Lockett's been injured, so that plays a part of it. And Lockett's always been a guy that's very up and down. He goes 2 for 21.
He's not consistent.
7 for 139 the next week. I mean, he's not consistent at all.
And also, one thing to think about too is Nico Collins was hurt all week too. So if he's banged up and really can't get the shares, then those will go to Tank.
Well, I mean, the bottom line,
I don't
the
think
tiebreaker that I usually go to would be game script and which one I think is going to score more points. But Seattle and
which offense is better?
I mean, it'd be easier if Tua was healthy, because I would say that game. But I mean, Texas and Vikings versus Dolphins and Seahawks. I don't know what the lines are, but I would think they're probably similar.
I think I would go with. I'd still go with JSN here. I'm going to go with the teams. Like if the Dolphins number 1 or their most talented cornerback, which is Jalen Ramsey, correct? If Jalen Ramsey's going to have to cover anybody, it's going to be DK Metcalf, I would think, and that should leave the weaker DB on JSN, and that's the way I would play it. That's the way I would hash it out in my head. How about this from SRLJ? I hope I'm pronouncing that or saying that correctly. Trade question: 12-man half PPR, Lamar and Chase Brown, or Love and JMO. Roster is quarterback Love, wide receiver Rice, wide receiver Devontae. Oh, I already love the wide receivers. Brees, A-Chain. The flex is Ayuk. JMO is on his bench. What do you think, guys? Damn, 12-man, half PPR, Lamar and Chase Brown, or Love and JMO. Half PPR. I Lamar.
Yeah.
Lamar and Chase to put on your bench. Lamar.
I would disagree. Only because it's a one quarterback. And I'm not, if the hype around Jordan Love is real, then in a one quarterback league, like, yes, Lamar would be my pick between the two, but is the distance between the two, like points wise, going to be so great, right? Where I think like Jameson Williams is just working his way up lineups right now. Like I think Jameson Williams, to me, we're talking wide receiver 2 on fantasy teams now.
Not just 2. Hold on a second. Yeah. I don't mean to cut you off. You want to know what else? Number 2, I think he's second in the league in targets.
Yeah. And Monte Brown is hurt and might be out this week too. So
yeah, I get this, Dad. I get this. However, part of me also believes that this is going to correct itself. I understand that right now he's off the chart.
Yeah.
And I also understand what you're saying in regards to the quarterback the quarterback, like how you would want to roster it based on the formatting. Lamar's look. I mean, we're talking about a 2-time MVP. We're talking about like he is their offense with his legs. I would still go with Lamar slightly over Jordan Love. And again, I know.
Can I chime in? Okay. So I agree more on with Trent that one quarterback league, look at it this way. Whether you have Lamar or Jordan Love, they both have upside. Lamar's maybe a little bit higher. But if your quarterback gets hurt, you're probably screwed. Maybe there's someone on the waiver wire. Chase Brown is not a viable play unless you're in a very deep league. Jameson Williams is. He could be a flex play. He could be your wide receiver 3, 2. With injuries this year, I would rather have Love and JMO just because I have that extra wide receiver that he's an instant starter. I don't have to worry about if something happens to my other guys. If something happens and I have Chase Brown on my bench, I'm scrambling.
I agree with you.
And don't forget, Jordan Love finished QB6 last year.
By the way, Chase Brown's going to take over that backfield as well. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, eventually, because he's more efficient. He's averaging like 6.1 yards a carry compared to 3.1. So
it's just a matter of time. Pablo wants to know about Rashee Rice or Zay Flowers, 2 rookies from 2023. This is a little interesting, right? Both rookies last season, both having very good seasons in their sophomore year. I'm going to go with Rashee Rice. Yeah, while he's still free. And when
I'll always side. I'll always side with Mahomes.
You're siding with Mahomes. You're siding with Mahomes here, yes. And
I'll side with Flowers.
What I meant by free, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is while he's still not in jail and playing and bowling out, doing really well. Yeah. That one play, that touchdown. I mean, they normally have been using Rice underneath and on the coursing routes. That was like a deep downfield play, wasn't it? I mean, I think they're starting to expand his route tree. He's getting better. And that's what you want, really. I mean, we're not here. I may not have either of these wide receivers. We still want these wide receivers to show development. We want to be able to, we want to say, hey, this is a player that I'm looking at now, that I covet now, and I want on my team.
But the one thing I worry about with Flowers, and he's surprised me with how many targets he's been getting. I mean, I would never think that he'd have. I think he's got like 20 targets this year so far. I would never have thought that. But as the year goes on, Andrews is going to get more healthy from his injury, or who knows, maybe even that car accident still got him messed up. Who knows? I think we're eventually going to see, right now it's Flowers and Andrews. I think we're going to see more of that, as the year goes on.
You sure?
And that. Yeah, go ahead.
See, I'm going to go Zay Flowers just because he's not fighting for targets other than Likely and Andrews. Last week he had 8 catches for 82 yards in the first half, and then for some reason, then this happened 2 games in a row, they stopped going to him in the second half. And he had more catches too, but I think one got called back for a penalty, and a couple were overthrown to him. He is Lamar's number one choice, first option.
Yeah, but you could say that for Rashee Rice too.
Yeah, but Rashee Rice is always fighting for touches with Kelsey and Worthy too.
But you have whether you have Kelsey and Rice or Andrews and Flowers. I don't see
Yeah.
any
You really
difference
can't
there.
go wrong with either one of them.
So I go with whoever
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
more.
Well, so here's my question, and it would be Rashee Rice for me too. But first of all, quick shout out to Pablo because he's my boy, by the way. So I'm glad
Nice.
he tuned in tonight.
Nice.
But my question for Pablo is like, who the heck are your other wide receivers?
Yeah, these are you guys you're choosing from.
Yeah, I'm like, what's happening here?
Like bravo on the draft.
Yeah,
Is it an 8-team league or is it a
Yeah.
10-team league? But
It could be an 8-team. I have an 8-team that I'm making decisions like this every week. You know,
Yeah.
it's possible.
I would. All right, let's break the tie. All right, I would go with Rashee Rice again. If I get all the sides, I yes, Zay Flowers does get this volume, and yes, he is also looks fantastic. I'm gonna go with the wide receiver who's in the offensive structure of Kansas City Chiefs over the offensive structure of Justice Hill, Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, maybe a little Isaiah Likely. And let's not forget, we're all waiting for the Rashad Bateman coach speak. That's a joke, because it was a joke 2 months ago, also in training camp. All right, gentlemen, do we have anything else here?
PPR, would you flex Higgins, Jennings, Waddle, or Akers?
That's
I should
Jawan.
not even
I know
answer
you
this
don't.
one.
It looks like Higgins is playing. All signs
Yeah,
are
he is
pointing to
playing.
him playing. I mean, it's
But yeah, okay, so
Jennings. No.
no.
Why? Why would you start? We're talking
want
Jennings
Jennings?
from San Francisco.
You know why? Because he
Well, Kittle's out
Rams.
and Debo's out,
Rams.
and
They're
they're
running,
gonna
running
run the mother ball, and it's gonna be Ayuk. I mean, Jennings is probably gonna get some, I'm sure, but you really gonna start him over Higgins?
No, I wouldn't. No, I'd go Higgins
I mean,
because it's the Commanders.
See, here's what
exactly.
Okay, no. Look, if we just have to go player here, like by player, we know who's the most talented. Here's the issue for Patrick. Higgins is playing on Monday night.
Yep.
We're not going to know that Higgins is definitely green check mark going and going to play until Monday. That's the only trouble. So now here's the thing, Patrick. I would not go Jennings, Waddle at this time, or Akers over Higgins. But since this is your flex spot, and if for some reason Higgins is warming up at freaking 6:45 and he's not ready to go because T. Higgins doesn't have a squeaky clean injury history here, you're gonna have to go your waiver wire and you're gonna have to pull some rabbit out of a hat. You're gonna have to go find someone. The good news, really good news for this week, and there may be another week in the year that there's 2 Monday Night Football games. There's 2 Monday night games, right? So, Dad, he could conceivably not just have to like pick possibly like a Yeshivas, or which is probably not available, or maybe like Tanner Hudson. Is that his name? Tanner Hudson. But he may be able to go to the waiver wire in the Buffalo-Jacksonville game as well, where he might be able to like pluck away like Dawson Knox. There'll be some options for him if T. Higgins decide that he's not a go. That's
the only one you gotta really decide right away is Cam Akers, because he's at noon. Everyone else is 3:00, I think. So you at least have a few extra hours to hear some news.
I just saw from our guy Patrick, who we're talking about. We'll get to that one also. I promise. He could leave the spot open and pick up Yeshivas if needed. That's the move.
Yeah.
Can you, if you can pick him up now?
Yeah, might as well.
Now is when you want to do that. If you want to go Higgins,
don't even waste the time. Yep.
That depends if you got the if you have 2 kickers or 2 defenses, I would drop one of those instantly.
Yeah,
that's the move right there. This is what we do here at the Patrick Pucci Fantasy Show. and what the goats do for all the other goats. Provide you sound fantasy football advice, experienced fantasy football advice. Experience between 3 people here plus myself. We must have over 200 years experience.
How old do you think I am?
Yeah.
I was talking about Commissioner Rhino. The rest of us are fairly young. Let's go back to is this Bijan? Is this Bijan Robinson? Oh, Bijou. It's Bijou's cousin. B.A.
Ayuk.
Bayou.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
B.A.
Ayuk, no
Ayuk.
questions asked.
Yeah, just because the Rams secondary is just so jacked up. Even a healthy Tre'Davious White, he's biting on stuff he shouldn't be biting on. Ayuk's going to eat tomorrow.
See, going back to Rishi Rice for a second. Like Rishi Rice, again, I mentioned that he's getting more routes. More, he's participating in more of a route tree. Because they're still bringing on the burner in Xavier Worthy. They can't just have Xavier Worthy running all over the place. Now that Rishi Rice is 20 games into his career, they are giving him more of the playbook. So yeah, that's just to go back a question or two. But yeah, no,
Well, it's because they can give them the playbook now. Because they have Worthy, because they can stretch the field. Now that opens up everything underneath.
But this is all by design. Like, you know,
for sure.
Andy Reid and Brad Veach, they were getting Xavier Worthy for a reason. It's that reason alone.
That's why they signed Hollywood Brown too. If he ever played.
But yeah, no, this is BA here. This is BA, not just because of the injuries to the rest of the Niners. Like this is BA in this spot because it's now time, like that anatomical adaptation, the lack of reps in the off season. It should be up to speed at par now for Brandon Ayuk. Same thing really goes for Jamar Chase. I know that he's also on Monday night. He is a smash, slam, dunk. But that's someone else like Tyreek Hill. You can't take that guy out of your lineup. You're not taking Ayuk out of your lineup either, to be honest with you. Not even close to taking him out of the lineup yet. Nah, he's too good. He's too good.
What else we got?
Oh, we got this guy. We got not this guy, but for tight end, Mike Gesicki, Zach Ertz, Kobe Parkinson, non-PPR. I kind of feel like I saw this today. I kind of feel like I saw this either from Farquad, or I definitely saw this very similar combination. But in any event, George, I think we would roll Zach Ertz here. I think we would roll Zach Ertz. He's, there's something, I don't know. I hate using the word hunch or gut, but I think he's the tight end coming in here that's seeing the field and he's getting the most use.
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to. Rhino, what about Parkinson though? Colby Parkinson. We've been on the Colby Parkinson train for a while now. Also, now, granted, the circumstances are different with the Rams, so they may have to use Colby Parkinson in a much different manner as well.
Yeah,
which they probably are, and not as the pass catcher either, unfortunately.
Yeah, because he'll be getting a lot more play because Davis Allen is out hurt. So the only other tight end is Hunter Long. He's more of a blocking tight end. I wouldn't play Parkinson just because the linebackers for the Niners, they cover the middle of the field good. I would go anything. I would go either first or second.
Yeah, well, let me put it this way, and this isn't a knock on this guy's roster, but these three options aren't great across the board. So you may want to try to look for another tight end off the waiver wire, making a trade, because I don't know how much longer Zach Ertz is going to be viable either. Colby Parkinson was still waiting on, and Mike Gesicki. The trouble with Mike Gesicki is he plays for the Bengals. There's not enough ball to go around for Mike Gesicki. B, there might be a better tight end than Mike Gesicki on the Bengals, who's coming along, right, Dad? They drafted a tight end who
Eric Alt.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a volume issue, right? Because you got Joe Burrow throwing it all over the place, and I think he might get replaced eventually. So that's why there's a little bit of trouble with that tight end room, my friend.
Yeah, he said his starter is Kittle, and that's why he needs a replacement.
All right, that makes sense.
If Johnny Smith is out there to be able to pick up, I may pick up Johnny Smith because he'll be one of Taylor Thompson's or Skylar Thompson's favorite, just dink and dunk.
Can't stand Johnny. I have a bad taste left in my mouth from last season, and Arthur and Johnu taking it from Pitts. Forget that.
Honestly, once you get outside the top like 10 for tight ends, you're just tossing the dice on any of them every week.
Yeah.
After Trey McBride just right now. So that includes Dalton Kincaid. That includes Sammy Ballgame, Kittle. None of them right now. None of them are producing. It's completely unpredictable, unfortunately, which is basically where we all left right back to where tight ends were in 2022, more or less, minus the Kelsey. Anything else? Keep talking to us. We'll go till tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you all ate dinner already. I haven't, so you guys go that long.
Yeah.
What's next? Come on, give it Brandon Strange. SoCal. So the Wolf. The Wolf's got the Wolf made a wolf move.
I got a question for you guys.
That's a good play though. See, that's the Wolf. That is one of our Patrick Pucci Fantasy Show lead analysis. Brandon Strange. Perfect.
Pablo's got another one.
That's a fantastic call, by the way. And you know what? I should have thought of that. I should have known that. I picked that dude up also in a league. Just goes to show you you necessarily shouldn't play in too many leagues. I play in way too many leagues.
Same.
Dad, how many leagues you play in?
I think you told me your number one time. I don't think I'm anywhere near you, but I think I'm in maybe 15 or so this season.
That's high. That's high.
I mean, it's a lot. But that's what we do, baby.
Shaheed, Madison, Neighbors, Waddle, or Worthy?
Non-PPR though, right? Because his comment before that, 10-man non-PPR.
Yeah.
Pablo's got Shaheed, and he was one of our burning questions that I have. It's not necessarily a burning question, but more of game fantasy football theory. The Saints are going to come crashing down. This is not going to sustain. I'm sorry, it's the Saints.
Well, look how many big plays they had last week. I mean, it was every time I looked at my phone, it was 60 yards, 50, whatever it was. It was crazy.
The Saints are not this good. So yes, Rashid Shaheed is in his third year. Chris Olave is in his third year. Alvin Kamara is in his 10th year. But still, Derek Carr, they're playing at an absolutely an insane clip right now. It's got to correct itself. It's got to correct itself. And they're down, and they're bound to come crashing down. And when they come crashing down, that's not to say that they would now just go back up. just not in the same week. That's all. It'll take another week or so. In any event, Shaheed, it's not Alexander Madison. Nope. Malik Neighbors. It's not Jalen Waddle or Xavier Ward. It's gonna be Neighbors here, man. Pablo, it's gonna be Neighbors. I know Shaheed is in for a big play, possibly. Even if the Saints come crashing down, they're still gonna try to target him for a big play.
I would just say the only thing, because of this being non-PPR and Neighbors has a brutal, they're playing Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, they're playing Cleveland.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got a tough defense and a strong pass rush going up against Danny Dimes. Like in non-PPR, it would be Shaheed and Neighbors are kind of the two I'd be looking at, but I personally would probably lean Shaheed because I'm not loving.
I can't.
Well, he's still getting. Neighbors is still going to get the yards with the volume. Right?
Neighbors is going to get the volume.
Even if we're reducing the actual catches out of the bag, he's still going to get the yards somehow. That's the way
the thing that worries me with Shaheed.
That's the way I would look at it.
He last week 4 targets.
That's it.
You're counting on a big play happening with Shaheed every week.
Right.
With Neighbors, he's going to get 80% of the targets.
True.
And you can't have opportunity if you're not getting the targets. That I understand your thought process, on the non-PPR, and if it was someone else other than Neighbors, maybe, but I think the volume with Neighbors is just too high. Even if they only throw it 20 times a game,
it's disgusting.
He's going to get 12 of them.
It's disgusting. He had a 60% target share last week. It's disgusting. That's gonna come down also, by the way.
I don't know if that will. Who else is that going to go to, though? That's the thing.
It can't. Wandale. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see some of these other wide receivers getting.
Neighbors had 18 targets last week.
Jones is 6.
Jeez, that's crazy.
18 targets.
I know, but 60% target share is insane. Also, so that's got to correct itself.
Yeah.
Don't you remember last year when we were all talking about Devon A-Chain's yards per carry was at 15, 16 yards per carry? I mean, that doesn't stay. That doesn't last. Same case. All right, guys. I know Commissioner Rhino is getting hungry. I know he's got stuff on the tree.
I'm good I'm so good.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get to some of the
is there another question?
Dad's questions.
Okay. Let's get there. Let's get there. If my mouse can get there, we'll get there. Oh my God.
Some rapid fire sit from the
let's just do rapid fire. Yeah.
Tony Pollard or Rashad White?
Pollard.
I'm gonna go Rashad White. I'm not going Tony Pollard. Fuck that.
I said White.
Excuse my language, goats. The Penguin Warren, Waddle, Scary Terry, Lad McConkey.
Do it out and repeat
one more
that.
time. Jalen Waddle, McLaurin, or McConkey.
McLaurin.
I'm gonna go. No. Out of this grouping, I think I would go with Waddle here. Out of these three, Dad, you said Scary Terry. That's very scary, by the way.
I know.
That's what I say that too, just because I know this is supposed to be rapid fire, but I think Daniels is gonna progressively through the season start throwing more. I mean, even last week you kind of saw it as the game went on. I think I did a prop on him for 50 yards rushing. I thought it was a gold mine. And after the first quarter, he had 30 yards almost or something like that. I was like, oh, this is gold. And he didn't hit it. You know,
It's crazy.
I think he's getting more comfortable. You know, as the play by play. So I think
and plus
it's got to come at some point. They got to figure out how to throw the ball farther than a yard.
After the first game, he had 14 carries, and they said they don't want him to carry that many times. They dropped down to 10 this past week. So, I like McConkey.
I think this would be a game that screams again for like the slot receiver. And if someone's going to
playing, or is it?
It's not.
It's not stick.
It's not stickiest.
No.
It's not stickiest anymore. There's no more stickiest.
I don't even know who it is.
It's Heineke.
Oh, Heineke.
Oh, it's Heineke. Okay.
Yeah, they created a sixth round draft choice for him.
Justin Herbert's going to play in Pittsburgh.
I'm still going Scary Terry.
All right, guys, if you have to drop somebody, it's either Raheem Mostert or is it going to be Cam Akers? Oh, no, are you dropping Mostert for Akers? Yes.
And I said no.
I would. Mostert, you've finished with. If it's for 1
week, yeah.
If it's for 1
season
week,
long, I'm not.
If it's for 1 week and you started out 0-2, and if you can't put Mostert on an IR spot, yes, you are.
Yeah. If it's just to hold for the season, I'm holding Mostert. If it's just for this week, you're getting Cam Akers.
Yeah.
Pick one. Pick one. Jalen Naylor, Jordan Whittington, Tyler Johnson.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is
okay. So
it's either Naylor.
You're going Whittington and Johnson on the outside, and Demarcus Robinson in the slot. I'm going Whittington.
Someone else that we've been pounding the table for, right? We've been, look, I mean, hell. Sean McVay says that he likes him. He's looked good. The Rams has said that he looks great. Well, let's go. I mean, like, this ain't practice anymore, baby. They gotta show it to us.
This is what I'll say though. If Stafford, they keep Stafford upright, then Whittington big time. And I trust they will. Naylor's not going to get the volume that but I don't think Naylor's going to get the volume that Whittington might.
Yeah, Whittington's your upside play.
Yeah.
We all agreed on that one, boys.
Wow. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Hussot's trying to tell us something.
But we already answered that though.
No. Obviously, it wasn't to his satisfaction.
Oh.
It wasn't to his liking. He wanted to put it in the chat again for a better answer.
I think he needs to put down the hard liquor that he always drinks.
So you know what? He wants a better answer. Let's give him a better answer.
JSN.
No. Hold on a second. We'll do this another way. Just bear with me.
Oh wait, he said he didn't hear what we said.
He didn't hear.
He didn't hear the answer.
No, I don't. He doesn't like. He didn't like.
He's got to rewatch the show now.
The answer wasn't to his satisfaction. Damn! Come on, baby. Here it is. Hold on. We'll do this another way. We're gonna do this the Pat Fitzmaurice way. Let's see if I can get this right. Come on. Hold on.
So what game you guys looking forward to tomorrow?
Hold on.
I think tomorrow Ravens Cowboys, just to see if the Ravens go start 0-3. I don't think happens, but it'd be kind of amazing if they did for talking purposes.
I'm looking forward to the Chiefs Falcons game.
All right. So what did we say earlier between the four of us when it came to JSN or Tank Dell? What was the consensus?
I think we were split, but I was JSN.
I was Tank Dell.
Yeah,
I was JSN.
So I was Tank Dell.
I think
Now,
I
what
said
were
JSN too.
because for me, I'd rather have the team's wide receiver 2 at this time over the Texans wide receiver 3, where he has to where him and Stephon Diggs are basically kind of fighting with each other for who's getting targets. Unfortunately, and that's not to say that it's going to remain this way, because again, just to recap, CJ did try to hit Tank Dell on a wide open field, would have been a touchdown, and he threw the ball a little high. All right, so now this is how we're going to settle it.
Are we doing like a duck race or something?
Nope. Much, much, much better. We're using our tools. Compliments of Fantasy Pros. 79% of the expert consensus rankings have JSN over Tank Dell in this situation. You've got a matchup rating 2, although now they're telling us that Tank Dell's got a little bit of a better matchup rating. Receptions allowed 25 to 12.5. All right. I mean, look, you can take, it's just here's another opinion right here. And this is PPR, by the way. All right.
Yeah. I stick to my grounds with Tank Dell.
Yeah, you should. Look,
if JSN has another good game this week, then I'll probably start saying JSN. But until there's back-to-back games,
we're not looking to persuade one another here. We're looking to collaborate off of information and off of our own beliefs. That's all. We're not looking to do anything along those lines. I'm not trying to convince you.
It'd be hard to.
Look who's here. It's the big fella. Oh, is that it? You must be talking about one of the Big Draft Energy fantasy leagues, dynasty leagues, best ball leagues that allow waivers. Who knows? I'm actually in one of those. Well, we know that the bots is going to allow a waiver run. That would be like week 8, week 9, and then there's another league that I'm in, another charity. I forgot, it's like SFL something, Super Fantasy League, where you could make moves. You could pick up players each week, and then it just reverts right into like best ball. You can't actually set your lineup, but you can add and drop each week, which is pretty cool.
This is a good question right here.
Let's read it. Which one, Rhino?
At 1-on-1, do you sell Puka at or willing to hold? What are your other receivers? For one thing?
Well, it depends what you're getting back for.
Yeah, and what you're getting back.
And are we talking dynasty then, I guess? Maybe? Or redraft? That'd be good to know too.
Yeah. Because Puka might not be back until they're saying maybe week 8, week 9.
Let's operate.
Redraft.
Let's operate under the presumption that it's redraft. Yes,
it is. You just said to.
Oh, okay. There you go. Do you sell Puka at, or you willing to hold him right now? I don't know if you're going to be able to get what you would want for Puka being injured.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It's probably not the right time.
So right now he's probably a hold. Yeah, that's what I would do. You have to wait for Puka to come back. You have to wait for him to show a flash again, a Puka flash of brilliance. And then hopefully it's not at the end of the year. Hopefully, according to Rhino, he may be out longer than that. I don't know. It depends. It depends on the real severity of that knee. And
I mean, it comes down to who you can get for him. If you can get, and I don't only want to say names because I don't even know what value is at this point. It's just, you just got to see what you can get. If you can hold them and your roster is good, just hold them. But if someone's offering you, I don't even want to say a name because I don't even know.
Cam Akers.
Yeah, Cam Akers. If they're offering you Cam Akers, you hold Puka.
Yeah.
They're offering you Brandon Ayuk if you trade for Ayuk. It just depends.
All right. Yeah. I would hold. I would hold. Eagles and Saints would be interesting. To see how much Jalen Hurts takes.
I want to get your guys' opinion on something. How do you see this KC backfield playing out over the next really until Pacheco's back?
We one of our featured topics, one of our biggest burning questions was Crocky J. Crocky J getting the start tomorrow. Probably getting the start, right? Again, the great Pat Fitzmaurice compared Carson Steele to the 2014 Matt Asiata insert when AP shredded his knee early in the season, and in came this guy to rush for 580 yards and 9 touchdowns. This could very well be what we might be on the precipice of seeing out of Carson Steele's a season moving forward like that. Big boy, right? I don't know. Can't call him a running back, can you? You can't call him a fullback. He's like one of these big, heavy running backs. What do you think, John? I mean, like,
let me ask you this: if he comes out tomorrow night and he goes 75 yards and 2 touchdowns, are you selling high on him?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. You could probably get a king's ransom at that point. Yeah.
I would, because eventually Kareem Hunt's going to be in there. And whether you think I'm a Kareem Hunt believer in this backfield when he comes in, there's other people that are Steele believers. But whoever you believe, there's probably going to be some type of share between. It could just be a full-blown committee.
Yeah,
and there's just so much hype around Steele that if he has a good game tomorrow night, I would try to capitalize.
Yeah.
I'm, for one, not a Kareem Hunt guy. His efficiency was for shit last year.
I'm not a Kareem Hunt guy. I'm a Kareem Hunt guy in this offense.
Yeah.
In this offense, if he was so effective, why'd they let him go? So well, yeah, like what? Well, I mean, granted, no. You don't have to answer. Don't answer.
Okay.
Granted, it is the offense, yes, but like again, this was like 3 years ago. He was on this team, this offense. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, it throws a wrinkle into the situation. You're right. Kareem Hunt is lurking around somewhere, and he's not the only one that's lurking around somewhere.
So Clyde.
So is Clyde. That's correct. So yes, if Carson Steele does have some really a solid performance, like a multi-touchdown game, and that in a 60 to 70 yard range of work, I don't even know if he needs that many yards. I don't even know if he needs 70 yards. He may just need like 40, 50 yards and 2 touchdowns, because we're gonna attach ourselves to the fact of like his goal line work and how he's getting these goal line touchdowns. That should be enough. That should be enough. Brian Thomas Jr. over Jalen Waddle. Yeah, now see, in this situation, I think do you guys see that question or no?
Yeah.
We did, and then it went away.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen. Good evening, gentlemen. Were you starting Brian Thomas Jr. over Jalen Waddle in this situation? Even Trevor Lawrence and the struggles of the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's still unfortunate that we have to go with the rookie over Jalen Waddle at this time. Jalen Waddle is, to me, and we spoke about this earlier, he's the biggest downgrade in this offense, which sucks. It sucks. But yeah, Brian Thomas would be my call here. Whether it's PPR or half PPR, it shouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
Well, guys, is it Traeger time?
Yeah, turkey's been going all day. I smoked some meat for my chili for tomorrow. Then
I thought I smoked this something else.
no.
Jonesy, what are you getting into the rest of this evening? You don't have to tell us. Just I hope you enjoy
College
it.
football 25.
I
on
also heard
Xbox.
from the great Fitz that the Badgers aren't doing so well.
It's the Badgers. They never do well.
All right. I won't follow college. I won't follow college until the NFL season's over, and then all
I am a Badgers fan until the day I die.
I won't follow it until like they hit the Senior Bowl. I could care less.
I
I
never expect
record
them to do anything.
Record the Michigan SC game, so look forward to watching that.
Dad, anything good? Anything out of the ordinary? What is Dad doing this evening? Dad things.
Nope, just gonna get my fantasy teams in order and then try and get some rest. Tomorrow's a long day for me. I took on a new role with my church, so I'm like working basically all day. So it's changed my Sundays, but it's all good.
So you're going from one church on Sunday to another church on Sunday? Because
no, I'm just like at a place all day.
Well, yeah, well, you were at church in front of your TV on Sunday.
Yeah,
that's church. But now you're going from that church to an actual physical church.
That's it.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah, it'll be good.
God bless you. For real, God bless you. We could turn this into real spiritual talk, but maybe some other time. Guys, it's been a great show. I want to thank all of you for coming out. I want to thank all of our listeners, all of our sponsors. They're coming, by the way. I want to thank the GOATs. And don't forget to set those lineups. Go over them. Don't forget to check out the information that comes out from your trusted sources, your reliable sources. Those reliable sources are coming out of, ESPN and the NFL Network. So Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter. Anything else after that is like tertiary info, because then those individuals are getting it from the others, or worse, they're speculating and predicting. You just go to those two sources, especially when it comes down to like injury information. Now,
I want to say one thing before we sign off here.
Please,
Mr. Head Coach of the Indianapolis Colts, Shane.
Let's go,
if you're
baby.
Even if you're losing in the fourth quarter, like you were to Green Bay,
let's go.
The Packer fan in me loves your decision to not play Jonathan Taylor. But the football person in me and the fantasy player in me
needs it bad.
What the fuck?
Needs it bad.
What are you thinking?
I get it.
We're passing. We're going to sit Jonathan Taylor. He's your best player. You play him.
I don't. Yep. I'm not sure if he thinks he's the best player. I think he believes his core. I think he believes that his quarterback is the best player. That's the difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Taylor is. There's no other running back on that roster that even comes close to 50% of Jonathan Taylor.
I get it.
And to sit him for almost an entire quarter because you're passing, give me a break. Horrible coaching decision. Probably the worst decision of the year so far. So thank you for the win. Because if you would have played Taylor, you probably could have maybe made that game a little bit different.
Yeah.
So
the Packers, the Packers, I'm not even sure that they really won that game. That's right. I feel like the Colts may have just lost that game and gave it to the Packers.
Yeah.
In any event, the main slate starts tomorrow, fellas.
Just go out there and be good humans, man. Be a difference or make a difference, man. Hug your loved ones too. All right. Hug your loved ones.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. We leaving studio.